guys, I am Chris Kaler.
And I'm Amber Foster Kyuujin Cosplay, and today we are back again to guys with To Your Eternity, episode 3.
Yes,
So, what happened last episode?
Last episode, our little orb is now a human, and he's been trying to, well, follow the dream of the guy who took care of him when he was a dog. So that meant he walked and walked and walked and died and died and died. Because he didn't know how to handle being human, you know, how to take care of his needs and what was okay, what wasn't okay. And he faced, the last time he died, he faced a monstrous bear that mauled him to death. And when he came to, he found a little girl called March.
Yeah.
March is desperate to become an adult. She wants to be a mom. She wants everything that has to do with being a grown-up.
But first she needs to be a human sacrifice.
Yes, she was
for
chosen
that bear thing.
For that bear. She was chosen to be a sacrifice, and it wasn't, I mean, she didn't want to do that. She kind of did at first because it meant that her brother or sister?
I think it was sister.
Anyway, the baby and her friend were spared, but in the end, like, she was too scared, so she ran away, with help from one of her friends at the village, and she found the orb. And they spent a day together, and now she wants to go back to the village because she feels bad for leaving the baby and her friend as sacrifices.
Yeah.
But he's following her. So she sees that as a chance for her to be a mommy like she wanted to be. So that's pretty much where we are. She's decided to be his mom, and he's just a dog in a human body. Pretty much. So let's jump in episode 3, see if we can manage to save that little girl eventually. I think we have to kill the bear. I don't know if we can even do that right now, but let's see.
Okay.
It had to
But
happen.
how are you supposed to bring back that huge bear to Yanome?
I was wondering the same thing. Okay, so when I was saying, you know, oh, maybe he transforms into the bear and kicks its ass. I was wondering if we could ever go back to being the human at one point. But it looks like we never forget what we used to be. You know, this is still something we can transform into. So this is going to be really useful in the future when being a human is not enough, you know? I wanted to say also, I looked it up a little bit about what happened, you know, to create this show and what was the backstory behind it. The author did this after the death of her grandmother, I think. Anyway, there was a death in the family.
Look it up.
There was a death in the family, and I think it's a she wrote this to talk about death and survival. It's about survival. What it takes to survive and to go on, and basically the meaning of life and how important it is to every single one of us. So survival is the theme of this, and in this episode it felt like survival. We got it a lot from March, from even her friends saying, you know, let's live, let's do everything necessary to keep on going. Like they're gonna go to. I can't say, I don't know if it's in the enemy territory, because they seem to be at peace.
From what I'm seeing, I think that they want to keep control of Yanome, that's the place.
Yeah, the place where March is from.
Yeah, they want to keep control over there because why would she say that, let's say that both of you died and you go back to Yanome with that bear? You know?
Well, I think what happened to her is she never saw that bear before. She knew about the tradition, she knew about what was needed to follow that tradition, and she was hell-bent on doing it, but faith can only go so far, and she had never witnessed, you know, the reasons for doing this. Like you said, yes, they were basically bones at the end of each year, so they knew something was happening over there, and, you know, apparently if they did it, the villages would be safe. I don't know how that bear managed to stay away, why it stayed away after one little girl.
On eating on travelers, like we saw.
Probably. But it looks like, you know, she was doing it because it was tradition. She had no true faith towards it, despite what she was saying. And then being there, witnessing not only a human being fighting a bear, but a human being transforming into a wolf and being, little like this compared to the bear like that, still managing to take it down. And it's also the fact that it kept healing. It basically is not normal. It doesn't look normal. And where others saw a monster, she saw an act of God. She saw like...
An act of gods.
Well, yeah. Something that is worth worshipping, or at least looking into at the very least. They took down the bear that kept them scared of, for years, I guess. And this bear was the reason they were killing little girls. So she's gonna see this as an opportunity, and she was crying and everything. Like, this is, her faith got a huge boost. So I don't know what she wants to do with them. I feel like she wants to maybe worship Fu. Yeah, we'll call him Fu. She wants to maybe, worship him, or it's gonna take a twist for the weird. Because I mean, it feels like she wants every witness to this scene to follow her and go back to her village. She doesn't want the word to spread. So I don't know what she's gonna do with that.
If they do have enemies, they can use Fu as a secret weapon. Like, they got something that you cannot kill, that killed a huge bear that no one could have been was able to kill before.
Yeah.
So
she had never seen that bear
you can use
before.
it against anyone.
She had never seen a bear before, so she didn't even know what was going on the mountain. And now she's gonna try. I mean, she's got the secret. I think she maybe doesn't know what to do with it. So at least they're gonna bring back the bear to prove that that happened, and the wolf and the other witnesses. And she's gonna spread the word so that there's no need to actually kill them. And yes, she wants to keep it a secret, but I don't know what she's gonna do with that. For us to know that, we need to know more about her. And aside from the fact that she was crazy, worshiping that bear, even though she had never seen it, and following the rules like crazy, we know nothing about her. So she could be a good person, she could be a bad person. It could be about faith, it could be about delusion. We don't know. So we'll see her village and we'll see what happens there, but at least we get to survive. And, despite the fact that, I don't know, they seem, like I said, the two villages seem at peace, or the two communities, I don't know. They seem at peace because they were going from and to, every village. Maybe, the ones in charge seem to be the village of the girl, the girl's village, the woman's village.
Okay.
So, I don't know if there's this, a feeling of inferiority when it comes to March and her people compared to the people of that woman. So I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing for them to go there, but it looks like they're gonna do it anyway because the point of the whole thing is to survive.
Well, I think they don't have really a choice: die or go to Yanome.
But I mean, if it's about pride, they could have just died.
Yeah, no.
She did too much for that.
I forgot the teenage girl's name. What March colors Nene, so.
Nene.
The archer, yeah.
Yeah, the archer.
The archer.
They did too much.
She wants to survive. She wants to protect March. So she's gonna do anything to protect the little girl and make sure that she survives anything. So.
But I think it's the whole point about life. You got to make the most of it, and you got to make it count. And March hasn't even managed, and even the archer, she's still pretty young. None of them have really managed to make the most of their life. And March was making a very mature decision to let it all go and die on that table, stone table, and sacrifice herself for the good of others. And she was making her peace with it, but it was incredibly sad to see such a young girl say like, oh, I never got to be a grown-up. This is my reality. I chose not to become a grown-up because that's what I need to do. But then it's, the way I see it, and we talked about this in Midnight Mass and stuff, but any religion or any god or any practice that asks of you to kill an innocent is not a good practice. Actually, any practice that asks you to kill anyone is not a good practice, but some people justify it. Back in the day, it was a lot more, natural and normal to sacrifice people because they were so afraid of the wrath of those bigger things. And in this case, we did have a bigger thing. Like, that bear was there.
Yeah.
But, like, that bear is tangible. That bear is there. That bear was alive. And it was monstrous and huge, but fear is not a good enough motivation, in my opinion, to sacrifice the future of your communities. that little girl has a right to live her life. And so many little girls before her had to die because the adults did not, show enough strength and motivation to keep trying and kill that bear. Granted, it is huge. It was huge. It was big as fuck.
If you're able to regenerate over and over and over again, yeah, you can try to kill that bear, but one slap of that point, you're dead.
Yeah, but in that case, like, that there's something, that this tradition came from somewhere. So their ancestors probably saw the bear and they decided instead of fighting it, we're gonna lay down and start killing our kids. It took us one moment. We spent not even a day with that little girl. She was gentle with us. That's all the motivation we needed. Yes, we are. We are immortal. That's why we took it down alone. But like, realistically, if you see that huge bear, you realize that your arrows and stuff, they don't do much, you start trying to, you start thinking of a way to make a bigger weapon. You build other things. Walls were taken down. Humanity evolved so much quickly and created amazing stuff for war. Don't tell me they would not have managed to create something to at least hurt the bear. It took a wolf. Yes, the wolf regenerated, but one wolf took down that bear. And and that whole thing, by the way, like, I wasn't sure what was going on, because at first I was like, we're feeling the pain, the bear's pain. Yeah. So I was thinking, this is interaction. Does it mean that we can transform into it?
From what I understood, tell me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think that he can only change it to some things that had an impact on him.
Okay, so we still connect with things like this. So does that mean does it make it easier for us to realize, this hurt more than the other thing, so this is where I should attack? We connect more. In a way, it could also be about growth. We... At the very beginning, we were an orb. We had nothing. Emotions were completely new to this thing. And we're learning friendship with, the dog and his master. The little boy.
Language with the little girl.
Language, another friendship, someone taking care of you, someone that you want to save and protect. This is emotions. This is going to start growing and this is going to start evolving. It's learning a lot quickly than it probably should be able to, but this is good. It means it's not going to take as long for it to, discuss, talk, and...
The orb is not a natural thing. This is something supernatural, from the skies, basically.
And
so I would expect it to learn at a normal pace.
And it's not like for it's because it can try to mimic the speech, but an animal can also learn, give the paw or roll over, stuff like that. Basically, the little girl told them, if I give you something to eat, you say arigato after. So that's what it did. And it created a bond with that girl, and that's why it defended her. And in my opinion, the orb fu showed motivation and persistence that was needed of those humans who let their kids die. There's a lot to learn from that orb, and I know it's scary, and life is important, and life is sacred, and you don't want to die. I get it. You don't want to go out there and face that bear alone, especially not alone. But if they had maybe worked together and not fallen into the pit of let's just give away a pure little girl as a sacrifice, so many little girls could have survived and go on. Like her friend said, there is no need in following crazy, rituals and crazy, what's the word?
Rituals, traditions.
Traditions, yeah, let's say it like that.
Okay.
There's no need in following crazy traditions. They don't make sense.
It is interesting, though, because we know that Fu, or the orb, was sent on Earth to observe and to learn. And something that is supposed to be on the side, look at things, interact with things, learn, and be objective, catch so fast that you need to protect your own, but those that you care about.
As soon as emotions became a thing for it, it's over.
Compared to those who already lived on Earth, were facing that bear for many, many, many years, and just went with it
To be
and
fair,
did
though,
nothing for nothing to go against it.
the creator never really said his intentions for sending that orb, to Earth. It said something about I don't know, said, just to see what would happen, I sent the orb to Earth.
No, but something that doesn't know about caring for one another, like
know, but that's
cooking for your own kind.
The creator sent the orb to Earth to see what would happen, knowing that what the orb does is, look, observe, and absorb the stuff that it interacts with. So knowing what the orb can do, it sent it to Earth to see what the orb would do. And as soon as it got, life, basically, as soon as it became something alive, emotions became a thing, and then he was a part of history. He was a part of the lives of the people he would communicate with or interact with, and he was going to become involved in everything that was going to happen. You can't just stay observant if emotions are involved.
No, but
that's the point. Like, that's the whole point. Seeing what would happen.
No, what I meant to say is that something that didn't know nothing about being a human, about human life in general, the first reaction that it got was to trying to protect someone else.
Yeah, but we've been through a bit, we were the wolf and we connected with the kid, and the kid helped us. That orb can feel pain. So when we feel pain or hunger and stuff, and we need something, and then we get someone that gives us
when you compare that to what the humans do in general, what can you say about it?
Well, not all humans stayed indifferent. We had a friend trying to save us from the beginning. Not every human is like that. At the same time, it's because, that we said it ourselves, the orb reacted because all it took was that interaction to show him, this is wrong. It lacks all the, all the teachings and all the stuff about religion, all the stuff about fear. It doesn't fear anything. It can't die. But it does feel pain, so this could change him eventually, but for that orb, there's no questioning, because it's that simple. That kid helped us. That kid is our friend. Or, the concept of friend doesn't even exist for it. That kid gave us something we needed. We need to help her. That monster wants to hurt her. And it knows about pain. So we're not going to let that happen. That's all it took. It's a very basic reaction. So yeah, humans don't react like that because they have fear of death. They have, everything about this is huge, this is not normal, this must be a god, I can't go against a god.
They have tradition, customs, culture.
But we're not there yet. So we'll see. I'm not even sure it will impact us, but as we learn, we will see how he changes. I did call him he. I don't know if I should call it or he.
Call it it.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I do a bit of both. I'll do a bit of both.
Just call it foo.
Foo. Yeah, I'll learn about that.
That's just simple. Foo.
Anyway, so far we're still alive and things are going well, so we'll hope that things keep going well, because again, tragedy is very possible in this show, as we learned in episode 1.
We might see it next time, so yeah.
Yeah, so let's enjoy it for now and jump to the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching this with us. If you want to see the next episode right away, it is on Patreon already. The link is in the description below, so check it out.
Yep, and the next one should be out on YouTube next week, guys. So, see you then.
Bye!